Other people, you guys can write in the chat. Just uh, from Nigeria, high confidence at the. So there are people, I've seen students requesting from Nigeria as well, and some people, some students from Ghana. Still, we are figuring out, how we can come to your country. Right now, we are mostly focused for Indian students, but we will be moving to foreign countries as well. Hi, Ayush. Yeah, yeah. So I think we will be doing more free masterclass session, in the coming months. So I think you can tell your friends there in Nigeria to they can join and do the free master classes at least, and then we will have some specialized programs for outside students as well. Then they can join the programs as well. Yeah, so let's start. I will take like 5-10 minutes, and then so Riddhi is also here. Riddhi will give a short introduction afterwards. Riddhi will be actually teaching you this intro to JavaScript, but उससे पहले like मैं थोड़ा अपना इंट्रोडक्शन दे देता हूँ. Uh, okay, so let's start. Let me share my screen, Anna. So I am co-founder and CEO of Cuvette, and I just came here to interact with you guys. I see that there are a lot of students who are interested to do regular continuous learning kind of thing. So we thought of experimenting with these master classes type ka kuch. Uh, so I will be using Hindi and English mix. I think so that both the audience will be comfortable. Let me show you first our platform. I will just take 5 minutes to show our platform, how things work, and why we built, how are we doing right now. Uh, First, I would like to ask you guys in the chat. So, have you used our platform before for applying for internships? Shrikant have used it. Suzal have used it. Okay, Rupa has not used it. Aditi has used it. Ashwin many times. Rohit, I think Rohit, we have interacted before as well. Subhankar has used it. I guess it's not. Yeah, for outside India, it's not right now available. Akshay heard about it recently. Okay, no worries. Uh, Stuti, hi Stuti, Kumar Shank, yes. So Mohit Nandan, okay. Some of the people from internal batches are also coming for the free live classes. It's fine. ठीक है. So थोड़ा प्लेटफॉर्म के बारे में बताता हूँ क्या है. So, अभी क्यूवेट एक प्लेटफॉर्म है जहाँ से आप इंटर्नशिप्स और जॉब्स ले सकते हो. फुल टाइम जॉब्स का सेक्शन भी आ गया है. पहले इंटर्नशिप्स में थे हम लोग, अब फुल टाइम जॉब्स भी आ रहा है. फुल टाइम जॉब्स में हमें मिनिमम 5 LPA का लिमिट लगाया है, तो लोग 5 सारे जॉब 5 LPA से ऊपर के मिलेंगे. एंड इंटर्नशिप्स में हमारा बहुत अच्छा ब्रांड है इंडिया में भी. कुछ 5,000 कंपनीज है जो इंटर्नशिप्स के लिए हमसे पार्टनर कर चुकी है अभी तक. एंड रेगुलर इंटर्नशिप पोस्ट आता है हर महीने. 300-400 इंटर्नशिप पोस्ट आते हैं. कुछ 1.5 लाख कॉलेज स्टूडेंट अभी यूज कर रहे हैं इंडिया में, एंड ये ग्रो हो रहा है बहुत तेजी से. सो हमारे में स्पेशल क्या है एज कम्पेयर टू एनी अदर प्लेटफॉर्म. सो हमने 2 साल पहले चालू किया था. मैं 2 साल पहले आईआईटी खड़गपुर से ग्रेजुएट हुआ हूँ, एंड हमारा मेन फोकस था कि एक ऐसा प्लेटफॉर्म बनाए जिससे चीजें जल्दी हो. जैसे अभी जितने भी प्लेटफॉर्म्स है मार्केट में, या फिर आप लिंक्डइन से अप्लाई करते हो, वो सारे कॉम्प्लेक्स है, एंड उसमें पता नहीं चलता है कि हुआ क्या. लाइक बीच में गैप आ जाता है, आप अप्लाई करते रहते हो, बहुत गैप है इंटरेक्शन में. सो हमने क्या किया, बहुत सारी चीजें सिंप्लीफाई की है. सो Qubit, how does Qubit work? First, you have to make your profile, right? So you have to make a very good profile. Once you log in, you will come to this dashboard. This is the result that these are the students who are continuously getting internships from the platform. And यहाँ से एक प्रोफाइल एडिट होता है. प्रोफाइल आपको सिंपल है. सी प्रोजेक्ट्स ऐड करो, वर्क एक्सपीरियंस ऐड करो. जितना अच्छा आप प्रोफाइल बनाओगे उतना ज्यादा चांस है आपका इंटर्नशिप लगने का. ठीक है, तो प्रोफाइल बनाओ पहले अच्छे से, एंड देन इंटर्नशिप्स में आप अप्लाई कर सकते हो. इंटर्नशिप्स में हमने बहुत सारे फीचर डाले हैं. जैसे यहाँ पर हम सेग्रीगेट करके बताते हैं कि बिगिनर लेवल है, इंटरमीडिएट लेवल है. देन एक परसेंटेज मैच का फीचर भी है. जैसे अगर मैं यहाँ पर मैच के हिसाब से शॉर्ट करूंगा अगर, तो आपको दिखाता है कि आपके प्रोफाइल से 80% मैच कर रहा है, आपके प्रोफाइल से 55% मैच कर रहा है, तो काफी इजी होता है अप्लाई करने के लिए। एंड एक चीज का ध्यान देना है, आप जितना जल्दी हो अप्लाई कर सको उतना बेटर है, क्योंकि जैसे ही 150 एप्लीकेशन से ऊपर जाता है हमको ये क्लोज करना पड़ता है। तो आपको दिखेंगे लेकिन बहुत सारे मैसेज आपको ऐसा दिखेगा, एप्लीकेशन क्लोज ड्यू टू हाई एप्लीकेशंस, ठीक है। तो ऐसा है, सिस्टम काम करता है। एंड देन आपको फीडबैक्स मिलता है हमारे प्लेटफॉर्म पे, जो आपको कोई प्लेटफॉर्म पे नहीं मिलेगा। जब आप अप्लाई करते हो तो आपका प्रोफाइल हमारे थ्रू जाता है, एंड हम देखते हैं कि आप सूटेबल हो या नहीं हो। अगर आप सूटेबल नहीं होते हो तो हम आपको पहले ही बता देते हैं कि इस कारण से आपका रिजेक्ट हुआ है, जिसके ऊपर आप काम करके दोबारा अप्लाई कर सकते हो। सो हमने ये देखा है कि अगर आपने प्रोफाइल डिसेंट बनाया है, अगर आप सही जगह अप्लाई कर रहे हो, तो 10 से 15 दिन में आपका इंटर्नशिप लग जाएगा हमारे प्लेटफॉर्म से। 15 दिन का स्पैन होता है अगर आप सब कुछ सही सही कर रहे हो तो। सो आप रिलीजियसली फॉलो कर सकते हो हमारे प्लेटफॉर्म को, एंड देन आराम से मतलब इंटर्नशिप लग सकता है। नाउ हमने ये देखा कि बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स को अपस्किलिंग का जरूरत है, क्योंकि आइडिया नहीं होता है कॉलेज में थियोरेटिकल एकेडमिक्स कुछ और चल रहा होता है, एंड कंपनी इंडस्ट्रीज में कुछ और चाहिए। सो हमने एक अपना खुद का अपस्किलिंग प्रोग्राम निकाला, गारंटेड इंटर्नशिप प्रोग्राम निकाला है अभी, जिसमें 2-3 वेरिएशन है, गारंटेड जॉब और गारंटेड इंटर्नशिप। तो जिसको अपस्किलिंग और ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम देखना हो, यहाँ से आप देख सकते हो, है ना, मतलब आपको डैशबोर्ड पे ही मिल जाएगा। तो आप यहाँ पर जाके आप फिल कर सकते हो, आपको अगर आपको ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम करना है तो। एंड कुछ ऐसे जैसे हॉल ऑफ फेम में आपको ये दिख जाएगा कि किस लोगों का इंटर्नशिप रिसेंट लगते जा रहा है। एक रेफर एंड अर्न प्रोग्राम है, कोर्सेज का सेक्टर है, अभी इसमें और सेक्टर्स आ रहे हैं, जिसमें से कि हम और माइक्रो कंटेंट और बहुत सारे लर्निंग कंटेंट डालेंगे छोटे छोटे। कुछ फ्री होंगे, कुछ पेड होंगे, डिपेंड करता है आपको कैसा चाहिए, है ना। देन एक बहुत अच्छा फीचर है यहाँ पर, मेंटर। सो अगर आपको कुछ भी इशू हो रहा है ना, आप व्हाट्सएप पे चैट कर सकते हो मेंटर में, और ये फ्री है, मतलब मेंटर का कोई कॉस्ट नहीं है अभी। एंड आप सीधा क्लिक करके मेंटर पे चैट कर सकते हैं, कुछ भी प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है आप डिस्कस कर सकते हो यहाँ पे, ठीक है। सो ये है ओवरऑल, एंड आई थिंक नाउ आई कैन गिव टू रिद्धि। रिद्धि,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, am I audible?
So yeah, so Riddhi will start from here, and you guys will enjoy the session how to make a Dino app using JavaScript, and ऐसे बहुत सारे free live classes होते रहेंगे. So yeah, Riddhi, over to you.
Cool. So, hello everyone. I hope I'm audible. Can you quickly
Yes,
confirm?
sir.
Cool, great. And one thing I would suggest is, first of all, let's try to keep the conversation in the charts, right? Because, unmute beach mein hoga, so that will break the flow. So that's the first thing. And second thing is ki, yeah, that's really great. Really great. I can see some of the students from that our current batch already, coming up here. That's good. So, yep. Hi, hello, everyone. So I'm Riddhi, and I'll be taking this session now, right? And in this session, right, this whole 1 hour or 1.5 hour, roughly around that, right? I'll be telling you, we'll be starting from scratch. We'll be, taking up as you are new to JavaScript, right? And we'll try to make a simple, fun game, right? I'm sure most of you have played that Dino game. That's by default game when your internet is down on Chrome. So that we'll try to create. And yeah, that's about the that's about the agenda. And if I'll quickly have to give you about my introduction, I will say I have been into web development and all from like past 2 rounds here, right? And my recent post, I'm working as a subject matter expert at Upgrad also. And not only that, I've been working with different edtech startups. And yeah, that's quick things about me. Yeah, I think we could start, right? Yeah, we can see the demo of the project, right? So I'll quickly start by sharing my screen, and then we can quickly, yes, all right. And one thing is that we'll try to make it more interactive, right? It's not going to be just like those YouTube videos wherein, someone is just, writing a code and just telling ki, like, though things will work like that way, just write it, things will work like that way. I'll try to make sure that we understand the concept and we try to build it then. And it's not going to be very intensive because obviously I'm assuming most of us are beginners, right? So I'll take it at that way only. And I'll also keep on clearing concepts and then, implementing that. And the best part about this project is going to be that, roughly around, I think, 50 to 100 lines of code, under 50 to 100 lines of code, we'll be making this whole project, right? And I'm talking about JavaScript aspect of that. I'm not concerned about how many lines we'll write in HTML and how many lines we'll write in CSS, right? So let me quickly show you the demo, right? I have been Cuvette. Yes. So this is the Just a second. Yeah, this is the site that I have, prepared for you. And the bonus part about this curriculum is not only be that you'll be learning how to create a game. At the end, you'll also be learning that how can you host this game, right? So now it will not be only limited to you, right? It will also be on the web, right? So not only you, but anyone across your friends or anywhere across from any different devices, you can play that same game, right? So that is about the game, and as you can see, yeah. So this is a very simple game. I hope you would say that, some of you might say isn't that very simple. I would say the plus point of that being very simple is that it is very easy to create, right? And I'm damn sure that most of you will be able to create it, and you will be able to understand each and every single line that will be writing, right? So that is the project. I hope all of you are interested, right? About this. Can you quickly show me, if you are ready to go, and if that sounds good? Cool, great. All right. So I'll quickly also ask, a very quick question, like how, yeah, that how many of you have already a very basic idea about HTML, right? And about CSS. Great. You can like write that into charts because that will be easy to track. Yeah, cool. I can see so many people having idea about HTML and CSS, and I'm assuming that at least you have heard about web development as a whole, or HTML or CSS as a whole. That what purpose does HTML solve, or what purpose does CSS solve, right? We'll be taking it from scratch, right? No worries at all. But we'll just assume that some part of that you might have heard, because we cannot start from very scratch, right? Bilkul se scratch se start karna, it's not a good thing. And the main agenda of this class is the JavaScript part of it, right? Because HTML, CSS is a very yeah, a very simple task. Yes, we will be hosting it on Netlify. I mean, we could choose any other service also, but in my personal opinion, Netlify is the simplest one. You just get your project done, and you just drop it there, and it's good to go. So we'll do that. Cool. So many people already aware about HTML, CSS. I can see our batch people also coming up here. Nice. Yeah, we are recording this session, and we will provide you the link of the recording. Don't worry, so you can view it later on also. And for your convenience, we'll also share the code also. Don't worry, right? You can also take this reference from the code. And yeah, so that is about the code, right? I hope you guys are interested. Yeah, in fact, this is the main thing that we'll be doing, right? I have a basic boilerplate code ready, right? Wherein I have, written some simple HTML stuff and all, and a very basic CSS I've written, right? And all the major things, right? How the Dino is moving, how this dinosaur is moving, how these, cactuses are going up and all ahead, right? So we'll write that from scratch from our own class in this own class, right? So I can see, Sai, you have raised your hand. Is there anything I can help you out with right now? I think it's by mistake or what. Anyways, let's start the session, right? I hope my screen is sharing. So great. So this is the project that I've created, right? And this has got some really basic stuff ready, because we have got a little a small time window. So for that, I've just created this basic HTML code done, and a simple CSS ka stuff done, right? And script is completely empty, and styles may will also do some more stuff, right? So I'll quickly show you how does my code looks like now, and I'll also increase the font in case some of you are joining in from mobile devices or what. Yes, so this is the basic template code ready, right? And it has got background color, it has got some styles and everything, right? And I also added a little tagline over here, right? Just to make sure that you remember it, that okay, I've done that on Cuvette masterclasses. Anyways, and trust me, this is just the first masterclass, right? And we are starting off with a very simple project, right? And if the response, comes out to be good, and if you guys are interested into building more such JavaScript games or more such advanced topics, right, we'll definitely come up with more and more sessions, right? I think you would have received mails or something like that, right? So do let us know if you want to, and I think we will be sharing some feedback forms or something. Yeah. So you can also let us know that how this session went, and what all you are expecting from us in the near coming future, and we'll definitely take a note from that, and we'll come up with the upcoming solutions. I mean upcoming boot camps. Cool. So can you share the starter code? Yes, I can share the starter code. Just a minute. Let me do it. One thing. And see, Karan, I would say not to write it side by side, because that, hinders your learning part as of a moment, which I personally believe. So how about, it's just a 1 hour session. Yeah, it's just a 1 hour session. So let's do one thing. Let's focus more about learning stuff, right? How that is eventually written, and why are we writing that stuff, right? And then you can do it alongside, because this is something which I don't prefer, which I don't recommend anyone to just monkey code something, right? By the way, this is called as monkey coding, right? You just see what's going on and you just keep on writing it. I can even share it, no issues at all. I'll do one thing. Yeah, I'll even share it just in case you guys are interested in doing. So I will upload it on just a minute. Let me use Git over here so that I can, add it to GitHub, and I'll update I'll add the updated code over there directly. So just a minute. And this is not the part of the curriculum, no issues at all. It's just a developer tool I'm using. So don't need to worry if you are not, getting it. All right, let me quickly create a GitHub repository and I'll just put it there. Just a second. All right. And trust me, this project is going to be very, very simple, right? You might have been thinking, okay, we are having so many functionalities, the Dino is running, the score is updating, and there is an error coming in, error as in the error message is coming in, and everything is working. And this might be a too long of code, but trust me, that's just under 50 or 60 line of code, no, not much more than that. So this is the basic starter code, right? And I'll share it right now in the charts, right? So yeah, you can take reference from here, right? In case you want to clone it on your system and then want to go ahead with it, but I would not recommend doing it right now. Anyways, yeah, I will share the whole code also, right? I'll be uploading the code over here in the same repository. So, you can fork this or you can make it a star or something, right? And still that is there in the, what is it? It's there in the chart. So that is available. And yes, we will also be sharing the recording. And I think the, deployed code will also be shared along with that. So no issues at all. Right. And no, we will not be using jQuery. We'll be writing that on Vanilla.js. Vanilla.js is directly like pure JS. We'll be writing it on. All right. So I think we are good to go, right? And this is the basic template code. And it's also not like that I'll just ignore the basic template code. I'll also explain you what I have done and why I have done that way. So this is the HTML. And also let me give you what all technologies we'll be working on. We'll be working on with HTML. We'll be working on with CSS and JavaScript, right? HTML and CSS part, I'll just give you a brief and I'll just, explain in a very, quick manner, because this is not the main agenda of the session. The main agenda is JavaScript. So I'll explain JavaScript in a much thorough manner, right? So yeah, and in case you still have confusion with HTML and CSS, right? That's not a big deal, to be very honest, right? These are just properties, or these are just, some tools to structure your website, right? So you can also continue. It's not like, you'll say that, okay, I don't know HTML. How should I be knowing JavaScript and something? Because I feel like, there is always something that you can take out of a session, right? In case you're not able to take 100% out of it, at least 10 or 20% of information, right? You can take with us. I mean, which you can take with you. And obviously in the near coming future, you can work on that and, you can make it compound and go ahead with that. Right. So this is the HTML, right? In this, you can see this is a very basic starter, template code. This is the code that comes in the very first time, right? You start writing a simple hello world, hello world code onto your simple website, right? I'll start from the, very core part. I'll start from the very basic body part wherein we are doing that stuff, right? So I've created a simple heading, right? As you can see, it says Chrome Dino game, and I've added some divisions within inside it, right? So divisions are nothing but it's just like a container, right? And which can hold some information within inside it, right? First, you can see as a game division, right? Which is effectively holding our game, right? Can you see this white area? This is our game division, right? This is a area wherein our game is going to be playing, right? And first of all, we have added a division for Dino, which is a dinosaur, and we have added a division for characters. Right now, you cannot see anything over here because I have not added. I am planning to add images into this division, right? I'm planning to add a image into that dinosaur, image of dinosaur into this, and an image of cactus into this, right? And then obviously some headings or whatever I've written, right? So this is the basic stuff, and I've also attached the style sheet, right? How do I attach a style sheet to an HTML page? It's very simple. I use a link tag, and that attaches my style sheet to that. Secondly, I've also attached the JavaScript file into it, right? And the way to implement or the way to add a JavaScript file is very simple. Again, we use a script tag and we use it like this way. There are multiple ways to attach the script file, right? You can either write the whole JavaScript within script tag also, that is also fair. But it's better to write the JavaScript and it's better to write HTML in a separate file, right? Because you can see, okay, this is my structure and this is my JavaScript and this is my styles, right? So for the same purpose, I've just defined it in this way, right? I hope there is no problem at all in HTML, right? Any quick questions you want to ask with HTML, or why we did it in that particular way, or any quick questions, do let me know really quick. Yeah, I've increased the font size. Yeah. Yeah, I've increased the font size. Do I need to increase it more further? Cool. Yeah. So I hope, right? And also, it's not like I'm just going to be speaking, right? We will be interacting, right? We will be asking questions. We'll be, taking your doubts also, and consider this as a like full discussion session, right? Don't consider it as a just normal video wherein someone is just teaching and all. Cool. Yeah. So that is the first thing, right? And the second part I've written is the style.css, right? In this, I've written a very basic style, right? The first thing that you can see is basically importing the styles that I've, is importing the font styles that I have used, right? I try to make it look like that same old thing, right? Which has something like this, fonts. I am not sure if you have played that game or not, but this fonts are something like that only. So I've imported that using Google Fonts, and this is the way how you import it, right? All right. Next up is I've just got the basic style done to the body, right? I've just got the margins of the body to 0%. Why I did that is because CSS has some basic CSS has some basic margins and padding such. By default, there is a margin and padding of some pixels, which might hinder our whole look of the page. So that's why I've set it to 0. And I've also set the height and width as 100% of the viewport height and 100% of the viewport width, right? Just to quickly explain it, I will simply say that you can see my website is coming starting from the top till the end and starting from the left hand side to the right hand side, right? And how is that possible? That is easily possible using this 100 VH and 100 VW, right? So this is how we give 100% of the height and width. I'm not going into the depth of that because again the main agenda is the JavaScript over here, right? This property over here, right? I've written like series of 3-4 lines, right? So I've written series of 3-4 properties. And what is the main use case of that is I use these properties just to get these things properly aligned on my page. I hope you can see the Chrome heading is right on top. Then we have this, this particular game area with the proper space. And then we have this third heading at the, at the baseline, right? So all of this, I have not given any margins, or paddings from top, left, right, bottom. I've used flex boxes using CSS, right? And through that, I've got this layout done, right? So flex boxes, just assume that flex boxes help us into setting up a layout, right? And using these 3-4 properties, I've set the layout, right? And we are not going into what is this flex direction, why is it relevant, why not row and something like that, because that will become too specific to CSS, right? And next up is the border color property that I've used, right? And I've just tried to make it a very, soothing color on the background, and that I've used hex colors to do that, right? So background is also that. Next up is the font family, as I've told earlier, right? I'm using press start 2p. This is a font ka name, right? Which looks exactly like that. So I've used that so that our game has that look, and it's cursive because the particular style of that font we are using is a cursive type, right? So that is all about the basic body ka code that I've written, right? Now you can also see that I have another another division set, and that has got some style properties, right? So I have used a selector over here. This is an ID selector, right? Which is doing what? Which is just taking up the division from here, right? This is a division, and we are styling it, right? And we are adding some basic style to that. That is, we are having that, height of this division should be 200 pixel, width that should be 600 pixel, and that should have a border of 2 pixel solid apply, right? And we have made sure that this game section looks nice and clear, and it's, it comes up very naturally, right? So that's one thing. And background color, obviously, to keep that background as white only, because I want to have my dinosaurs within, and I want to have my cactus within inside it, right? And the last properties is basically that, you obviously know that our cactus is going to be running inside it, our dinosaurs is going to be running inside it. So we don't want our cactuses or, dinosaurs to come out of the box, right? We want to just cage them within this box. So that's why I've used this property of overflow hidden. So anything that would try to go out of the box will not be allowed to go out of the box. Instead, they will be just hidden from the whole page, right? They'll just seem to be, sinking within the box. Something like that I have written, and this is a very basic code that I've written, right? Apart from having this, right, I have got two images also with me. As you can see, yeah, this is the images section. In this, I have got the T-Rex image, and I've got the, and I've also got the cactus image, right? So I will be working with this images, right? I'll be, making sure this cactus image is coming on my screen and it is constantly running. I'll also make sure that as soon as we press any button, right, not only space button, any button, soon as we press it, our dinosaur is running, our T-Rex is running on that, right? So that is the basic stuff, right? Let's quickly start coding in, right? Let's quickly start the basic stuff, right? Let's quickly get this dinosaur running. Let's quickly get this cactus is running in, and then we'll move to our JavaScript and we'll, make this function. So what I want to do is I wanted to have this, dinosaur image coming up on my, screen. How will I get it is, I'll first of all select the Dino, first of all, very quickly. I'll select Dino. And what I wanted to have is, just a minute, let me also, disable that. This is kind of a AI tool that I have got, right? Yeah. So what I wanted to say that is there is, in this particular division, I want to have that dinosaur. So how will I get it is, there is a property of, background, background image is a property. But before that, let's start that using background color, right? I just wanted to have a black area over there. And I just wanted to tell you that what is the height of this dinosaur going to be? What is the width of that dinosaur going to be like, right? So let's quickly get this, height of maybe, let's say that this dinosaur is going to be something around 50 pixels. Width should also be something around 50 pixels. Right. Let's quickly see the output, right? I've also opened up this over here. Right. So the size looks decent to me, but what is the problem? Can you figure out what is the problem and how could we fix it? Suppose instead of this, black spot, I should be adding my T-Rex or I should be adding my dinosaur. But is the position correct? No, right? The position does not look nice to us. It should be, yeah, and cool. So it should be on the, on the bottom side, and it should not be like there only. So now I'm going to tell you one, important property of CSS. That is, how can you shift an element, or how can you shift anything, right, from its original position to something else, to somewhere else, right? So for that, we'll be using the position properties and offset properties into CSS, right? And the position property, the specific position property that we'll be using is going to be position equals to relative, right? I'll just show you this one with a very one quick example. I'll say that, position should be relative now. Yep, right. And writing this, is there any change? No, there is no any change, right? So let's try to see the change, right? I'll say that maybe the top should move to maybe, let's say 10 pixel, right? Let's start with a very simple measurement, that is 10 pixel. Can you see the box moving a little bit from the top? Obviously, yes, you can see, right? Let me also open this in a side-by-side manner so that you can also see the changes that we are doing, right? So you can see the box is moving a little on the bottom side, right? And we can do it this way. We can start moving it a little more and more, right? But that's not a good thing to have, right? Because how many times you'll do the hit and rail method? So rather what we'll do is we'll say that, the overall height of this box is what? The overall height is, 200 pixel. And the height of the dinosaur is going to be 50 pixels. So let's do this thing. What if I'll, move it to 150 pixel from top? Would that do it? Yes, that's doing it, right? So now the position of the box is where I wanted my dinosaur to be. So that's perfect, right? But the thing that I'm missing is, that's good, but I want to have a dinosaur image, right? I don't want to have a black spot over here. So what I'll do is, I'll just, comment this black color property. Rather, I will have a background image here. So I will add a background images. I'll use this background image property. And in this, I want to attach an image, right? I want to add an image into the background side. How will I attach it is, I'll use this URL property, right? And this helps us to add an image over here, right? So you could choose a URL. You could choose a path of an image that is already there in your system, right? So as I've shown you earlier, right, I've got an image and that image is in my img folder, and the name of image is trex.png. Let me try to write it over here, and let's see if we can see that image. I'll write img slash trex.png, right? And as soon as I do it, can you see any any spot of images? Yes, you are able to see it, but that's not coming up nicely. Is it coming up nice? No, that does not look like an T-Rex to us. So what we'll do is, I think this is missing on the size only, right? So let's do one thing. Let's try to give it a size, right? I'll try to give it maybe background size. Yes. And the size, what we wanted to take this size, we want to take the size as 50 pixels. So let's say that we want to make the x-axis to be 50 pixel, and we also want to make the y pixel as, right? Can you see this? Is the dinosaur coming up very nice? Yes, it is coming up very nicely. And I hope, the dinosaur is at least set for the minute, right? So that by doing this, we have just got the dinosaur on our screen, right? The next task should be that how can we get this, how can we get this cactus running on our screen, right? Or at least, first of all, get the cactus on our screen, right? So before doing that, right, I just quickly wanted to check that if all of that was making sense, right? Any quick queries till this point? Yes, cool. Yeah, I know, Krishna, that HTML CSS takes a lot of time, and then we want to start with JavaScript. I know that, right? So that's why I'm not, taking much of the discussion on CSS. I'm just, saying that this is going to be something around for positioning. This is going to be around that, something like that. And I've just shown you this whole thing, right? Because this is a property where quite a lot of people are confused about. So I've just positioned my dinosaur, right? I'll quickly be positioning cactus in the very same manner. Right, I just explained this because this is a crucial part of the game. Right, I just now want to place a cactus here. So I would want to place a cactus. I think the ID is CACTUS only. Just a second. Yeah, CACTUS. So I'll place it, and the same way I'll even borrow the same style from here. Right, I'll just borrow it, and I'll just do the minor modification there. Let's quickly do it. Okay, and it's also formatted now. I want my cactus to have maybe 40 pixel of height and maybe 20 pixel of width, because the cactus is very, lean in one sense, right? Position is going to be a little different over here. I'll tell you a little later. First of all, let's try to add the image. Let's also see, first is going to be for, x-axis. That is, x-axis means it's what? Its height is going to be there. So 40 and 20. Yes. And instead of having this, let's add a let's add a cactus image. Yes, right. So I hope you can see that it's coming up nicely, but what are we missing? Okay, just a second. The cactus is also there, but the position is little different, right? Can you see? The cactus is coming on still on top, right? Where we want to have it? We want to have it on the right hand side at least, right? And on the bottom of the right hand side. Just like we have got this T-Rex done here, we want to get this cactus done on the right side and on the like opposite side of that. Right? So how can we do that? Is we also want to get this on top. We also want to get this on left side of something, right? So what should be the left index we want to give it? I think this is the original position, right? This is the original position. The total overall width is what? It's 600. So I think 580 would be a good thing to have it. Let's have it on 580. Why it's not working? Oh, 580 pixels. Yeah. So sorry. Yes, right. The cactus is now there on the 580 pixel, and still, is it on the bottom line? No, it is not on the bottom line. How can we make it on the bottom line? Very simple. We have to adjust it. Not 150. I think 150 from there and 40 here, right? So we are remaining with 200 minus 50 minus 40. That is 110, right? Yes. All right. So I hope you can see that we have successfully placed our T-Rex and our cactus on our screen. Now what we want to do is that that is good, but we want the cactus to be continuously running, and we also want our T-Rex to be jumping in, right? As soon as we click on this, what do you say? As soon as we click on this particular any of the key we press it, right? So for that particular thing, we'll be required to use animations, right? We'll be required to use CSS animations. I'll just quickly tell you how you write a simplest animation, right? So I hope you have seen this or you have tried doing it, some of the art attack shows or something like that. Whenever you want to do an animation, what is animation? Animation is nothing yet. All of the frames are working, but they are working in a very fast-paced manner, right? So I'll say that what if I want to place this image continuously running? What can I do is I can start this cactus from here, and I can make sure that at certain point of after certain point of time, this cactus is moving slowly at this position, right? After some point, right, the cactus is at this position. After some time, the cactus is at this position, right? So I can do it very simply using add keyframes rule, right? I'll write add keyframes, and I could write maybe move. Right, so this is the name of the animation that I'm creating, right? I can give the frames, right? I can say that at 0 pixel, right? Just a minute, yeah. At 0% of the animation, where is it? Yeah, at the 0% of the animation, the position of cactus should be on the left side of 580 pixel, right? This is the original position. And what is the last index I want to have? Or what is the last stage of the animation? I want to say that at 100 be having this at the left of maybe after left of 0 pixel we can do, or maybe we can make sure that a cactus is going out of the screen. So we can take maybe minus 10 pixel, or the width is 20, right? So we can take it as minus 20 pixel and make it as minus 20 pixel, right? So if I do this, right, my animation is set, right? I have written the rules for the animation, but I have not actually put the animation. Have I put the animation? No. So how can you put the animation? Again, is very simple property of CSS. That is, you write animation, then you write the name of the animation. What animation we have created? We have created a move animation. So I'll write move. And how many duration pay after, like in how many duration we want to have this animation? Maybe let's say that at 2 seconds we want to have this animation on, right? And can you see this? Now it's working, right? But it's working only at the one time only, right? It's working and then it's gone. So I can say that I want this to have infinite times. So I can say like this way. I can add an additional parameter, and it's working. Is it working perfectly? It's working, but the one thing is missing. Can you see? The animation, because the pace is not even, right? It's fast on the starting point and then it's suddenly slowly. So we can also fix this, and we can make sure that the timing is linear only, right? It starts at the normal speed and it goes at the normal speed. How can we make sure? We should write a linear here. And after writing this, I hope you can see that animation is working in a very smooth manner now, right? And if you feel like the animation is slow, right, you can take a little shorter time. You can say maybe 1.5 seconds it should work. And yeah, you can see the animation running in a little faster, right? Isn't it? Yes. So this is the way how we have simply animated our characters to be continuously moving, right? Now is the turn that we should be adding the same animation, not exactly the same animation, but kind of the same animation for our dinosaur to be working, right? So this is quick thing about how we can add animation and how we have added animation into that. Any quick questions you want to ask? Yeah, I'll come to that. Any other questions? Just a second. Let's quickly see that. Yeah, Dino will also see. We are trying to make sure that dinosaur is only jumping in, right? And we want to make sure that the cactus is running so that you feel like the dinosaur is running, right? We can make sure that the dinosaur is also running, but that will be a too lot of tasks to do. We just want to make it very, very simple. We want to just make it very, very beginner friendly only, right? How to slightly move dinosaur to the right? You can move dinosaur to the right by giving the position also, right? Where is it that? Yeah, you can write left position. We can just give 10 pixel, 20 pixel, something like that, and dinosaur will move to the right. I told you about positions, right? The position property is going to help you out into doing what? Into figuring or into placing an element at a particular index or at a particular coordinate, right? And this top, this left, this right, and bottom are doing what? They are actually placing your elements into a different, into a different coordinate, right? Cool, great. Yeah, so I'll explain this, Arun and all, to everyone, that what is this keyframe. So guys, this is what we call as art rules, right? Art rules means that it tells us that how your animation is going to be performing. Right, so that's for that. I'm not going into the what art rules are, why should we use them, and all these things, because again, it's more focused on JavaScript rather than on CSS animation. So that's the first thing, right? And why we have written this minus 20 pixel is that, maybe see, what is the last stage of your animation is going to be? The last stage of your animation is going to be that your cactus should go out of the screen, right? If you write, maybe if you start writing 0 pixel, what should happen? We'll see the difference, right? Can you see this? Okay, it is also working like the same way, right? But in case you want to make this as minus 20, it will also work. I thought of, I want my cactus to fully go out of the screen, right? if my animation is working, right, it is giving me that perspective that my characters is fully moving out of the screen now. In case your characters is not moving fully out of the screen, you can make this as minus 20 pixel, right? This represent the first stage of your animation, that is 580 pixel, right? I mean, your characters is placed at minus, I mean, your characters is placed at a 580 pixel position pe, at that coordinate. Now, at the last stage, what you want is you want to make sure that the characters is at the 0 pixel ka position, right? And you want to have this in an animated way, right? You want to make sure that your characters is slowly moving to the end point. That is why we have written as at 0 pixel is this, and the end stage should be that. What if I want my characters not to go fully out of the screen? Maybe I want to stop it at maybe, maybe let's say that, 300 pixel from here, something like that. So what will happen is, can you see my characters is only moving until 300 pixel from the left hand side? Can you see this? So depending upon these offset properties, right, we call them as offset properties, you can make sure that how much your characters is moving in which direction, right? But we want to have this on the very left side, so that's why we'll do it this way, right? Yes, exactly, right. We starting we are starting it from the very left side, right, and then we are moving it on the other side. So that is how we are actually maybe making this animation. I think I told you in the very starting, right? Ki what is animation? Animation is nothing but certain frames running on a very high speed manner, right? So there are 2 frames only. We can write multiple other frames also, but we have written 2 frames. The first frame should be this. The last frame should be this. Now your CS is actually moving this characters from the first frame to the last frame in a very slow and steady manner with a total time span of 1.5 seconds. Right now, you also know that how can you change the mode of your game, right? In case you want to make sure that your game should be very pro level, right? You should be changing the, maybe you could make it like this way. And trust me, this is going to be fast. Yeah, this is going to be super fast, right? It's very fast. In 0.5 second, the cactus is moving from the left side to the right hand side. That is very fast. In case you want to make it very beginner friendly, you can make it as maybe 3.5 second or 5.5 second. And now this is going to be very simple, very slow, right? So in this way, you can also customize that, right? Cool. So that's about how we can do it. Let's maybe make it as 1.5 second only, because I think that's a fair amount of there's a fair amount of space, right? So I hope till this point we are good, right? We don't have any problems at all. Yeah, this is one thing we can also do, right? That you can see the cactus is coming up over what? It's coming up over dinosaur. So we can also make sure the dinosaur will superimpose that cactus. So for that, we can use what do you call you can use Z index. Right? Z index is nothing. It's just that if 2 elements are overlapping with each other, right? How can you how will you decide which element will come at what above what? So we can make sure that dinosaur Z index is a little above and not inherit. We want to give it as maybe 1, and that should do it. And now I hope you can see that the dinosaur is overlapping that cactus in case they are superimposing on each other, right? So that's totally about it. And we are still missing one thing. What is that? We are missing that how our dinosaur should jump, right? I mean, we are missing that dinosaur ka jump. So what we can do is now it's time to write the animation for jumping. I'll write a keyframe. Exactly same thing I'll do. Instead of this, I'll write jump. Right now, that is going to be very crucial this time, right? We want to make sure that our dinosaur is jumping, but we want to make sure that our dinosaur is jumping at a particular height only. We don't want our dinosaur to jump out of the screen. Do we want that? No, we don't. So I will do make sure that the first position or the initial position, starting position of my dinosaur is that, what is the basic, what is my starting point? Top at 50 pixel, right? So this is my starting point. I'll start it from here only. And after maybe, I also want to show that my last stage should be 100 also. I mean, my last stage should be that. Why I want that is basically, whenever I make sure my dinosaur is jumping, what is happening is my dinosaur is going up and also going down, right? So at 50%, I want my dinosaur to be on the top. At the remaining 50%, I want my dinosaur to come on the, come on the original position. So I'll do one thing. I would say, at 50%, it should be on the, it should be on the top, right, where I wanted it to be. And let's make sure the height is 40 pixels, right? So we can So if, let's do this. Let's make sure that it's also jumping in a little more height. Let's make sure that top is 80 pixels this time. Let's do it only. Let's take a random number and let's see if that will do it or not. And in case you are wondering, right, why the top is suddenly decreasing, rather the top should be increasing, right? Because it makes sense to, if my dinosaur is jumping, top should be increasing also, right? But this is not the case. Why is it not the case? Why we are decreasing the number? Can anyone tell? Quick, I mean, it's very logical. It's very simple. Why is it happening that we are not increasing it? Yeah, I know for jumping, right? But why we are decreasing the number and not? Yes, Dharmendra got it right. That this is relative to its original position, right? Originally, it was on top. So the number, if I'll start increasing the number, it would go on the bottom side. If I have to make sure the dinosaur is actually rising, what should we do is we should decrease that top offset position, right? So that is what I've done, right? I've just decreased it, and I've just made it like this way. Let's also do one more thing. Let's add more frames so that the animation ka jump should look more smooth. Let's 20 pixel at 25%. Let's make sure that 150, say we can make it as 110 pixels, right? And similarly over here also, what we can do is at 75%, for the 75%, we can make sure that our top is something around what it could be, again 110 pixels, right? So this is what I have done, right? I should also add it in all of the other cases. Yeah. So this is the animation that I've created for my dinosaur. Let's quickly add it into my dinosaur and let's see if that is working right or not. I'll create the animation. I'll write just like I've written in the characters. I'll write animation. I'll write the name of the animation, that is jump, right? And then we had what we had in how many seconds we want that to run, right? I want that to run on maybe that. Let's make it very short. Let's say something around 3 millisecond, right? 0.3 second. And then what is, yeah? Can you see this? Let's also make sure that is linear and that runs infinite times for the minute, right? Because for the minute, let's see how our dinosaur will look if it is constantly jumping and if it is crazy in some point of time, right? So this is how it is jumping. I hope you can see it is working at least, right? We have not yet done that particular part wherein we'll check if that is colliding or not, or to only jump it and to only jump it once we click on the button, once we press any button. Right, so all of that is going to be happening with the JavaScript part, but this is the basic stuff that we have done using CSS and CSS animation. That how can we make sure our dinosaur is actually jumping, and how can we make sure that our cactus is running from left to right side, right? So I hope that all of this was making 100% sense, because I made sure that you understand each and every single line whenever I'm writing it. I was even explaining some stuff before even writing something, right? So are we good till this point? And can we move ahead? Can we move ahead with actually writing the JavaScript part, for which I hope all of you are here only, right? We should be working with JavaScript. We should be doing all of this with JavaScript, not crazy dinosaur jumping, right? Okay, so let's do that, right? And before writing any part of JavaScript, I just quickly wanted to tell you that the importance of JavaScript and why we are focusing more on JavaScript, right? The main thing is that JavaScript is, in very much demand in these days, right? And it has been into demand from quite a lot of time, right? With JavaScript, you can literally, if you know JavaScript, right, you would say that I would literally know web development as a whole. Yeah, just a minute. We can see some questions. Is that linear animation property? See, the linear animation property is basically that the timing function it is, right? Our animation is doing what? It's working on the linear function, right? Earlier you have seen that characters was coming in. Yeah, what happened? Yeah, earlier you have seen that the cactus was coming in at a very fast pace, and it was going in a very small pace, in a slower pace. So that is not linear in motion, right? So we made sure that the animation is working in a constant speed. For that we have used. Yes, see, Mohit, I can use a mix of Hindi and English, but as from the introduction, quite a lot of people are here from the south of India, or maybe out of India also. So to make sure that they are also grabbing the grabbing the concepts, I'm using majorly English, but still I'll do one thing from now onwards. Yeah, from now onwards, I'll also discuss some part in Hindi also at the same time. Right? No issues at all. We want to make sure that everyone is inclusive. Right? We are taking care of everyone. Yeah, I can show the HTML code. This is very simple HTML code. And in case you still want to, take the reference code, you want to have the, idea about whole code, right? You can, view it from here. I have shared the link in the charts. and team will also be forwarding this after the session. Right, chalo. So now let's talk about JavaScript, right? Because that is the hook point of this whole session, right? So JavaScript it's a multi-versatile language, right? You can use it for the back end, for the front end, and for like every part of development, right? Somehow JavaScript is still there, right? So this session is going to be around making you a little more comfortable around that, right? So just like any other programming language, I hope all of you might have heard about programming languages, right? Or might have tried any other programming languages, right? Might be C, might be C++, might be Java, might be Python, anything like that, right? So just like these languages behave, right? JavaScript works kind of similar to that. Sure. I'm not saying exactly like that, but JavaScript is also a functional language, right? It's also a programming language. Sorry. So all the stuff that you were able to do, somewhat around all the stuff that you were able to do with that, you'll also be able to do that over here only, right? But major use case of JavaScript right now will be doing around manipulating the content which is there in our HTML page, and then doing some more functionality out of it, right? So to manipulate some content, right, in our HTML page, what do we do in the first place? In case you want to manipulate something, what would you do in the very first place? You would take you take control of them, right? You would select them, or you'll grab them, and then you'll do the stuff on that, right? So that first thing that we'll be doing is we'll be selecting this particular characters. We'll also be selecting this particular dinosaur, right? And we'll make sure that, okay, now we have got HTML ka dinosaur, we have got the characters in this. Now we want to manipulate them. In case we press a button, then only dinosaur should run. In case they are colliding, then we should show some errors and something like that, right? So that is what is the idea behind doing this from now on. Game like, see, this is what I'm saying. My Babu Patel is that key we try to make it very minimal, right? And trust me, under 50 line we'll do it, right? Maybe even 30 line, under 30 line we'll be able to do it. I just made it very precise for you so that you don't have to worry about too many things, right? There will be two to three more concepts only in JavaScript. That's it. I'll not throw any technical jargons at you about it, right? Let's start with the very first thing, is that how can you select this dinosaur and this cactus from your page? Or maybe let's not talk about cactus for the minute. Let's only talk about how can you select this dinosaur, right? And why do we want to select the dinosaur? Is because this dinosaur is going crazy right now, right? This dinosaur is continuously running. We don't want this dinosaur to continuously run or to continuously jump. We want to make sure that this should be selected. And as soon as we click any button, or as soon as we press anything, right, then only the dinosaur should run. So how will we do it is very simple, right? We'll just a minute. Yeah. We'll use a variable just like you use variable in different languages. I'm using a let for that, right? And I'm saying let dinosaur equals true. And just for the minute, let me do one more thing. I don't want this to be continuously running, right? So I'll just cut this from here, and I'll comment this for a minute, right? So that my JavaScript, my page is not going crazy. So yes, I just got the dinosaur, and there is a property, right, in JavaScript. Again, it's not core JavaScript, but for the minute we can understand that is JavaScript only. That key that could select something from your page, right? And that property is, you can run document.getElement by ID, right? And in this you'll write an ID, right? I hope you have seen me writing ID. I have introduced you to this ID of Dino, right? So I can make sure that if I write this over here, if I write it over here, what is going to happen is that my dinosaur will be selected, right? So by writing this, I have a reference to dinosaur now, right? I mean, reference to dinosaur as in I have this reference to this dinosaur running on my screen, right? I think you won't believe me, right? You will say that, sir, how can you get a reference to this dinosaur just by writing one line of code, right? Should I prove it to you? Let's prove it, right? I'll do one thing. I'll go to my console, right? And I'll just try to log something over here, right? Let's make it full screen. Let's write Dino over here, right? Can you see something? Can you see something? Obviously you could see something, right? The dinosaur is now highlighted, right? I hope you have seen that, these what do you say, these sharpshooters, right? What they do is, if they want to select something, if they want to target someone, what they do, they keep pointing it to them, right? So similarly we have done it, right? Now this dino has a reference to that, and this is selected, right? So I can be sure now that the dinosaur is selected. Now what I have to do is, now I have to make sure that dinosaur will act upon my instruction. If I say that, okay, I've pressed a button, please move now, right? Then only the dinosaur should move. Something like that I have to do. right? For that, we have yet another function into JavaScript, that is event listeners, right? We can add events to our JavaScript, or we can add events to any elements in our JavaScript into our HTML, right? How can we do it is very, very simple, right? Again, I'm not, going into this function. How did we come across this function and why? What is special about this function? I'm just telling you that okay, this is the use case of this function, and this is how we use it. In case you have any specific doubt about this question or about this particular method, do like feel free to ask that into chat section. I'll definitely answer you that, right? But for the sake of making it more more crisp and more easy to grasp, I'm just explaining the function and telling you what purpose does it solve, right? So that is cool. Let's do one thing. Let's say that if I click on dinosaur, and if I want to add an event listener to that, and this is the syntax, by the way, of adding a listener to that or adding an event to that. I'll say if I press any key, right? If I say, or maybe I want to have this on whole document, not on dinosaur. I want to say that if in the whole document, right? If in my whole page, if I ever press a key, right? If I ever key down, if I ever press any key, right? Something should happen now. What is that something? I'll tell you that a little later. Something should happen. How would I make sure that something would happen? Is that I would have to write that something over here. I would say maybe this function should run. I should be able to see some, alert messages. I should be able to see something over here. So how can I say that is maybe, I could create a function. And by the way, this is how you create functions into JavaScript. Now, what is a function? You might definitely ask, right? Function is a piece of code, right? That is specified to do a particular job, right? I want to get a particular thing done. I'll just call a function, right? So function is just like a normal code that you are writing, but you have enclosed it with a particular block, and you have to call it repeated number of times whenever you want to write it, whenever you want to execute it, right? So I want to create a function. Maybe let's call this as jump only, right? And this is the function, right? Maybe that simply says that console log, something is happening. And what is this console log, you'll ask, right? Console log is nothing, but it's just that, just like you do, printf, you do cout, you do system.out.println. Similarly, we do console log over here. Let's do one thing that, if I write this, what do you think should happen, right? Now let me show you over here, and trust me, guys, I'll be, pressing something. Can you see? I'm pressing my keys, right? I hope you can hear that sound of me pressing the keys. And is there something happening on my console side? Yes, there is something happening, right? And that is something is getting logged. As soon as I'm pressing my key, some action is being performed, right? So this is exactly what I wanted. I wanted to have that if I press or if I do any events in my page, something should happen from behind the scene. So I made sure that something is happening, right? Now I need to make sure that not something, but the dinosaur should run at this time, right? So I hope this is also making a fair amount of sense till this point, that what I have done. I just selected the dinosaur, right? Why I have selected the dinosaur, I'll tell you a little later, right? Second thing is I have added an event listener to my page that if I press any key, right, a jump should happen, right? Or a function should execute, and whatever I'll write within this function, that will be happening after that, right? So that's quickly about it, right? Let's see if you have got anything, any quick questions. Yes. I think everything is cool. Consoles are software developer. Yeah. Okay, that is also a good thing, Pramod, that how we want to make sure that only spaces split will work. So for that, we have, we have parameters, right? We have event parameter, right? We can make sure that I'll tell you that also, just a minute. If you want to, run this, and you can say E. Again, it's just a quick additional information I'm giving you. We don't need to worry much about it, right? I just want to say that let's, instead of this, right, I'll just console log this e.target dot e.key code. Let's see what is that in the E. Right? If I log this, right, and I want you to tell me what key did I press, right? Guys, can you tell me what key did I press on my keyboard? I hope you are able to sense it, right? That is available to us in this E parameter, right? And we can quickly see, if the key is enter, the key is, what? The key is alt, the key is D, and all these things, right? So we can make sure that if only E dot key is space, or if E dot key is enter, then only we should run something like that, right? In case you are interested into doing like that way, you can take this route, but we want to make it very simple, so we are not going over there only, right? So again, that is an option that is available to you, right? So yeah, that first thing is done, right? Now the second point that I'm very, very interested into knowing is that the dinosaur was running with help of CSS, right? Have we done anything in the JavaScript to do it? No. So how can we make sure that something we have written in the HTML, right, or in CSS should work with the JavaScript now, should work on command of JavaScript? So there is a very, what do you say? There is a very clever way of doing that, right? Is that, can you please repeat the function definition? What function definition? That add event listener. That add event listener is basically, it takes two parameters. The first being what event you want to run this on, and second is what function you want to run. Right? That is how we do it. And function, like what is the use case of function? Is this what you want to know? Function is basically a block of code that can, just get a job done, or that can be used to do a particular task. That is. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Junaid is right. Right. The main thing is that, we can create this as a class, right? This particular feature. Can you tell me how my JavaScript was, how my dinosaurs was jumping? My dinosaur was jumping just because of this class, just because of this property, isn't it? If I add this, my dinosaur is jumping, right? If I remove it, my dinosaur is not jumping now suddenly, right? So what can I say is that I can simply say, what if I say I have a jump class now? I have a jump class now. Sorry, jump class now. And if I add this property over there, if I remove this property from here and if I add it here only, what is going to happen? My dinosaur will not run until and unless my element has that class now. See, I'll smartly place a class here and I'll say jump now. What do you think? Is my dinosaur jumping? Obviously, it is jumping, right? So the clever workaround with that should be around key. Okay, we have got everything, right? We need to make sure our JavaScript will take this dinosaur, right? And as soon as I click on the button, as soon as I press any button, right, this class should be added. Why? Because I want my dinosaur to be jumping. And after this particular time, right, my class should be removed. Why? Because if the class is there only, my dinosaur will keep on running every time, right? We don't want our dinosaur to be running every time. We want that if I clicked on the button, my dinosaur should run. After a particular time, it should stop jumping. Is it what I wanted? See, confidence ETH, I've just told this earlier to, I think, to somebody else in the class, is that it's basically the function, right, you are running. This function, you have access to this E variable, right? And this E variable tells you what event happened right now, right? So this is a whole object in itself. In that, you can use E.key, something like that, right? And you can run a simple if-else statement, right? You can say that if E.key equals to alt, or if E.key equals to alt, or something like that, right? Then only you should be working it. Else you should not be working. Something like that you can do. Don't worry, I'll also show you this at the end of the class also, right? But let's first of all complete this project, right? Cool. So, oops, sorry. Yeah. So I hope you understood the, you understood our, you understood our approach, right? The approach is just making sure that if any button is pressed, then add this class and then quickly remove it, right? Let's try to do it only, right? Let's try to see that how we can do it. I'll remove this class from here because I don't want this to be jumping, removing it. And what I wanted to say that just make sure that, where is my JavaScript? Just make sure that, dinosaur dot class list. Now this is something interesting, dot add. And then add this class of jump. Now, what I've just done is, what does this, 2-3 different statement that I've run, or this one particular statement that I've written, is that dinosaur.classlist give us an access to what? To all the classes of this dino element. What is this dino element? This dino element is nothing but this dinosaur in itself, right? I got access to all of the classes that this element had. Does it had any classes beforehand? No, it didn't had any classes. Can you see? No classes there. So what I wanted to make sure is that I should add a class, right? And I should add a class using this way. And what class I want to add? I want to add a jump class. And have we written any code according to jump class? Yes, right? We have written jump class code. And what is that jump class code? That jump class will make sure that my dinosaur is suddenly running or it's suddenly jumping, right? Let's do it, right? Let's quickly see that if that is working or not. I'll quickly reload the page. And can you tell me, right, when did I press any key? I hope you can see, right? As soon as I press any key, my dinosaur is completely running, right, out of nowhere. So this is good, but that's also not good, right? I want my dinosaur to also stop jumping after a particular point of time. Making sense? Yeah, I can definitely show you the style sheet. And see, guys, I've given you the reference of the code. Acha, code is not updated, but yeah, you can see, right? I've just added this in a particular style only. That particular jumping style, I've written it over here, right? So that is good till this point. Okay. And just for a minute, right, I realize that I'm not explaining in Hindi. I'll just quickly run this whole explanation in Hindi very quickly. Is that, देखो, अभी what am I doing is मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ is मैंने ये इवेंट लिसनर लगाया. इवेंट लिसनर ने क्या किया कि जैसे कोई भी की प्रेस होगा ये फंक्शन रन होगा, राइट? ये आपको मैंने शायद इवेंट लिसनर्स में बता दिया था कि ये फंक्शन एक स्पेशल काइंड ऑफ फंक्शन है जो एक इवेंट लेगा एंड वो फंक्शन रन कर देगा उस पर. जैसे ही आप की प्रेस कोई भी की डाउन होगी आपके मतलब आपके पेज पे, तो एक जंप फंक्शन कॉल होगा. जंप फंक्शन के अंदर हमने पहले कुछ कंसोल पे लॉक करा के देख लिया कि वो बराबर चल रहा है कि नहीं चल रहा, राइट? वो बराबर से चल रहा था. अभी हमको क्या चाहिए कि अभी हमको ना डायनासोर को मूव कराना है, डायनासोर को जंप कराना है जैसे ही वो कोई भी की प्रेस होने लगे, ठीक है? तो इसके लिए मैंने एक क्लेवर तरीका क्या सोचा, मैंने बोला यार हम लोग ने यहाँ पे एक एनिमेशन प्रॉपर्टी लिखी हुई है, राइट? वी हैव रिटन दिस एनिमेशन प्रॉपर्टी हियर. सो व्हाई नॉट मैं ऐसा करूं कि मैं इसको एक क्लास में डालूं और जैसे ही ये क्लास मेरे एलिमेंट पे ऐड हो रही थी, मैंने आपको ये करके दिखाया था, जैसे ही क्लास वहां पे ऐड होगी मेरा डायनासोर जंप करने लगेगा. क्यों? क्योंकि इस क्लास के अंदर वो पावर्स है, राइट? इट हैज गॉट दैट पावर कि ये इसको जंप कराने पे मजबूर कर देगा. बट अगर मैं इसको वैसे डायरेक्टली लगा दूंगा तो हमेशा जंप करता रहेगा, राइट? सो द थिंग इज दैट कि आपको लगाना है, बट आपको तभी लगाना है जब कोई बटन प्रेस हो. सो यही चीज मैंने यहाँ पे करी है अभी, राइट? दिस इस चीज से क्या होगा कि उसकी क्लास के अंदर मैं जाऊंगा एंड उसमें मैं जंप क्लास को ऐड कर दूंगा. दिस इज समथिंग व्हाट आई एम डन, राइट? बट अभी प्रॉब्लम में क्या हो रही है कि कॉन्टिन्यूसली जंप करेगा फिर, राइट? सो नाउ देयर इज गोइंग टू बी अ इंटरेस्टिंग फंक्शन दैट विल बी डिस्कसिंग नाउ. एक बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग फंक्शन अभी डिस्कस करने वाले हैं, दैट इज सेट टाइम आउट फंक्शन, right? Set timeout function is a very special type of function, right? Which takes a function and which takes a time with you, right? ये बोलेगा कि just take me a function, just give me a function and just give me a time after which which you want to execute this function, right? मुझे एक function बोलो और मुझे बोलो कितने टाइम के बाद इसको execute करना है. वो उतने टाइम तक का वेट करेगा, then उसके बाद उसको execute कर देगा, right? So हमको क्या करना है, हमको simply बोलना है कि there is a function called set timeout. एंड इसके अंदर फर्स्ट पैरामीटर में आप वो फंक्शन दोगे जो आप चलाना चाहते हो, राइट? इसके अंदर आप वो लिखोगे जो आप एग्जीक्यूट करना चाहते हो और सेकंड में दोगे आप क्या एग्जीक्यूट करना चाहते हो, राइट? सो पहले के केस के अंदर मैं एक फंक्शन बना दूंगा, राइट? एंड आई जस्ट राइट इट दिस वे. एंड गाइस एक चीज मैं आपको इंटरेस्टिंग बता देता हूँ जावास्क्रिप्ट के बारे में. जस्ट टेल यू वन इंटरेस्टिंग थिंग अबाउट जावास्क्रिप्ट इज दैट जावास्क्रिप्ट के अंदर यू कैन राइट अनदर फंक्शन विद इन अनदर फंक्शन, राइट? इट्स टोटली अलाउड इन दैट. In case you are wondering ki how can you write a function within another function, right? That is totally valid here, right? That is the beauty of JavaScript. And I want to say that maybe let's run this function after how many seconds? What do you think the animation is running at how many seconds? It's running, I think, for 300 milliseconds. Is it? 0.3 second is 300 millisecond, right? Right? Animation will complete after 3 seconds, right? So can I say this key exactly after 3 seconds, I mean exactly after 300 seconds, we should remove the jump class because एक बार jump तो मार लिया हुआ उसने. Is it making sense? Yeah, that is also will be coming into, right? Pramod ki, what if the dinosaur already had that class? I'll also write that code also. That is the edge case that will be taking care of now. Yes, exactly. Junaid also got it right. I hope you are also thinking alongside with me. Hey, I'm not just directly writing the code. I'm telling you the approach and then I'm writing the code. Right? Let's do it, right? Let's quickly do it then. And I'll say, what if we can, exactly after 300 seconds, right? Which is 0.3 milliseconds, I will remove this same thing. I'll remove this class from the JavaScript ka dinosaur. Instead of adding it, I would remove it. What if I do this? Will it work? Let's see. It's not working as soon as I click it. It's working, right? Isn't it? That's good. See, with every click of the button, right, my JavaScript is working. My dinosaur is working and it's coming nice to the bottom and it's not running again, right? It's not jumping again. Isn't it nice? Guys, yeah, in this case it's working, right? But we could not take care that, okay, maybe what if we will not take care of edge cases. To take care of edge cases, we could write a case over here that maybe if dinosaur already contained that, right? If dino.class list, that already had, that already had a jump class, right? And since we don't want to run this if that already had it, so I'll write a negation operator here and I'll write it within inside it, right? I'll only run this if my dinosaur didn't have this class now, right? If this class list didn't include jump, right? इसके class list में jump नहीं है, तभी मैं ये चीज execute करना चाहता हूँ. अगर यहाँ पे just in case कहीं से पहले से jump लगा हुआ है, तो मैं इसको नहीं चलाना चाहता. Then I don't want to run it, right? So this is what I've done, right? And this I think is foolproof now, right? ये करने के बाद I think it's foolproof in every cases. A minute. What? All right. Are we missing? But class list. Spelling is right, right? You can use include also. Just a minute. Are we choosing the correct element? Yeah, we are choosing it. Let me reload the page. Let's see what is coming up in a console. Just a sec. Let me see, because there could be a little minor change, a minor bug that could be there. Why it is not working? Just are we missing something, guys? Yeah, we could use a hash class also. I think this is what we are missing only. But I think, yeah, let's do it. There should be methods around it. Or just a minute, rather than doing this way, didn't include like this way. Let's check it. And let's see. Not equals to jump. Dino is selected correctly, right? Just a second. Yeah, it's working. It's working. Cool. After reloading, it's working. It's working. Yeah. So see, I was writing that on the start, right? I should rather be writing it like this way. This makes much more sense. Right. So by doing this, now it's working, right? Now it's foolproof then. Yeah. I've done it, right? So now it's working, right? Cool. So we are like somewhere close, right? We're almost close there. Just that one small thing we are missing. What we are missing? We are missing that, we should also be checking that, okay, if it is a win condition, if I mean win condition, though it's anytime that, it's for long you want to play it, right? You can play it. But we also want to check that, okay, if the dinosaur and if they are colliding to each other or not. Something like that we should be checking, right? So this is the last part, and trust me, we are going to complete this in just like 5-10 more lines, right? And I hope till this point no problems at all is coming, right? It's coming fluid, it's coming smooth, right? Any quick questions you want to ask till this point, keep about this, or any particular point which didn't make sense to you? Everything cool, right? Quickly, guys, give me a roll call. Let's see who all is still active there. Because I feel quite a lot of people would be saying that's taking too time and all. Cool. All right. All right. Yes. So that's really good to see that quite a lot of people are still there with us, right? Let's quickly get this done, right? Now, can you give me an approach? What should we take now, right? Because till this point, I have been giving you a constant idea till this point. Can you suggest me something which we can do so that we can detect if there is a collision happening with the, this dinosaur and this cactus? Can't we do something like that? We can check what is the current, current position of this dinosaur and what is the current position of this cactus. Can we do it? Yes, we can do it. There are something like that. Exactly, right? Which Piyush has told us. We could check what is the current position of dinosaur. Sorry. And what is the current position of cactus. If both of the position are exactly the same, what can we conclude? We can conclude, okay, they are colliding, right? So how can we do it is, it's very simple. We can, first of all, we need to know what is the current position of that, right? I would say, I'll say, again, another function I want to tell you is that there is a function called as, there is a function called as set timeout, right? I've told you earlier. There is another function called as set interval. Right. Now, what is the difference between set timeout and set interval is that set timeout will run this function after a gap of this many, time that you have given, but it will run it only once. आपको एक ही बार ये चीज करनी थी, right? You only have to do it this one time, right? If the dinosaur में आपने jump add किया, if you have added this jump class to the dinosaur, it should be there. But after some time, right, after 300 seconds, you want to remove it, and you want to remove it only once, right? But I want to check this condition that if the dinosaur is hitting this cactus or not continuously, right? So I can use this function. I can utilize this function of set interval, right? Set interval again is a function. Just a minute. Set interval is a function that will work exactly the same way, but just that instead of running this function only one time, it will run this function quite a lot of time, like continuously after a gap of that many seconds or after a gap of that many minutes, that many time. Right? So we would want to say that maybe after every 1 second you can, or after every 1 millisecond you could check it, but 1 millisecond is too short of a time, right? Maybe you could take 10 milliseconds in fact, right? And the time over here is in milliseconds, right? That's why we have written 300 milliseconds over here. Oops, what happened? Just a second. Yeah. So we wanted to do it this way. So what we will do is we'll write what we'll write. Yeah, we'll write the condition checking here, right? We'll write the function that will check if that is alive or not. We'll write a function, and this is the area wherein we will check the function, right? We will check that if the dinosaur is colliding with that or not. How can we check that is, we first of all have to get the position of dinosaur, and we also have to get the position of cactus, right? How can we get it? We have methods into JavaScript to get it. I'll say that maybe, what am I interested into? I'm interested into getting the top position of dinosaur, isn't it? I want to say that how top my dinosaur is going right now, right? I will say if let dino top. And how can we get the top? How can we get the top position of that? Is there is something called as window dot get computed style. There is a property. Yeah, there is a property of get computed style, right? It will tell you what what is the style of this dinosaur that we are discussing about, right? We want to discuss the dino, right? So we have written that, right? And we want to get a particular property, right? Get property value. We want to get value of what? We want to get value of this top property, right? What is the value of the top property, right? Let's quickly do one thing. Let's try to log the value, right? Let's try to see what is coming up in the dino top. Can you see the console? Let's quickly head over to console and let's see what's happening there. Not a function, not a function. What is the not a function? Console, not a function. Where is line number 15? We have written something wrong. What? Oh, console.log is a function. So sorry. Yeah, it's coming, but it's not coming properly. Okay, top should be there in the quotes. All right, let's see. All right, it's working. Can you see this? It is saying 150 pixel. And can you see the position got really got changed? How it is getting changed is because my dinosaur was jumping, right? As soon as my dinosaur is jumping, the position properties are changing. Can you see this? Yes. So that is changing, right? So this point we were successfully able to get what is the current position of dinosaur at that point. Are you getting this particular index? This particular thing? Yes, right? We successfully got to that. What is the top index of the dinosaur at this point? We can also check it. Yeah. This is the console. And you would say that, sir, why too many indexes are coming? Why too many numbers are coming? Is because we are checking this every time after 10 milliseconds. Why we are checking it after 10 milliseconds? Because we continuously want to check it, right? Every millisecond we want to check it, but every millisecond is too short of a time. So let's say 10 milliseconds. If you are very much interested, you can check it for 1 second also, 1 millisecond also, right? Nobody is stopping you, but I think 1 millisecond is too much of a short time. Yes. So we have got it. Let's also let's do one thing, is that this number is also including pixels, right? Let's not, I don't want to have this pixel. I just want to get the numbers part only. So there is a function called as parse int. There is a function called as parse float. Let's use parse float, because parse float is to get the what? It's also used to get the floating points, well, the decimal point also. Let's get it. And now this time, if my dinosaur will move, see, all the numbers are coming up in a decimal way, right? Very nicely it's coming. So that's cool, right? We are till this point. We also want to get what's the current position of cactus, right? Because we want to compare the cactus and this dinosaur. So how will we do it is very simple. First of all, we need to select the cactus. How will we select the cactus? Very simply, I'll just copy down the same thing and I'll copy the cactus now. And I'll also change this to cactus. CACTUS, right? Now I've selected the cactus and it's working fine, right? Both of cactus I've got. I also want to see what is the position. How will I see it? Again, I'll just copy them down. And I want maybe cactus ka left position. I want cactus left. Right? And this time I want this position of cactus only, CACTUS. And I'm interested into doing the left position of that. Right? So yes, let's see. Yeah, we have not logged it. Just a minute. Let's not log the dino top, rather let's log the value of cactus left. Right. And I hope you will guess what is going to happen. Cactus left, no, what is wrong? Computer style cactus, and I'm interested into left style. Cactus may CACTUS is that only. Just a minute. I think something very minor I have missed. CACTUS is there. CACTUS. CA is not defined. Why CA is not defined? Where I've written CA? It's working, right? You see this? It's constantly giving me a different size. Why? Because constantly my cactus ka size, my left position is changing. Is it understandable? Right. So now we are somewhat close. We just want to write one small condition and we are done. Our whole, this summary of the session is going to be, our whole session is going to come to an end now. Right. What we want to do is, when do you think is the collision happening? The collision is happening if the cactus is in their range of 0 to till this particular index, right? Let me quickly tell you that one thing. Quickly, I'll just tell you. When is my collision happening? My collision is happening. Just a second, huh? Just a sec. My pen is loading. All right. My collision is happening if my cactus ka range is this, right? What is this range? This is from 0 till 50 pixel. Why I'm saying it's 50 pixel is because the width of this dinosaur is 50 pixel, right? I hope you remember that, right? So that is the first condition. So I could say if the cactus ka left position is in range of this, that is 0 to 50, plus at the same time, can we say if that is our dinosaur is colliding? No, we cannot say. We can say this is colliding if the dinosaur is also in the bottom stage. If the dinosaur is also sitting below. If the dinosaur is jumping, right? Is it colliding actually? No, it is not colliding, right? So we can make sure that if the cactus range is this, and at the same time, if the dino ka top position is what? It's in the sitting position. It's in the normal position. What is the normal position? The normal position is somewhat like 150 pixels, right? Somewhere, if it is larger than 150 pixel, then larger than or equals to 150 pixels, then we can say it is colliding, else it is not colliding. Is this making sense, right? Why I'm coming up with these numbers? The hole was 200 pixel, the height and width is 150 pixel. Sorry, it's 50 pixel. So we can say if the position is somewhere below or greater than, if it's larger than it's equal to 150 pixel, then it is definitely colliding because my dinosaur is sitting or it's trying to jump. It has not jumped completely, right? I hope that is making sense to everyone. In case there is any problem till this point, do let me know, right? I'm there to help you out with any of the doubts. And I'm damn sure that you are interested in it. You're taking interest into that because every single step we are discussing and then we are writing. And that might have given you confidence, right? That, okay, we can create our own games also. We can do some modification also, It's not like just I'm writing the code and just saying कि इससे ये होता है not. Cool. Let's do that, and let's quickly do it, and I'll just keep it here only, and I'll just quickly write what is the collision part. The collision part is this. I'll just quickly I'll just quickly take this whole part. And the collision part is that wherein if my dinosaur ka top is larger than and greater than 150 pixel, at the same time my cactus ka left range is it's greater than 0, right? And at the same time it's less than what? It's less than 50 pixel, right? My cactus ka left is it's less than 50 pixels. If that is the range that we are having, right, less than equals to, we can take, right, something like that. If that is it, right, we can say, okay, my cactus is less than equals to something like that. My cactus and dinosaurs are colliding. We can simply console log collision, right? And that is, if that is happening, right, let's quickly check it. Like, first of all, the first thing should be, if we are able to, yes, let's reload it. And can you see this got collided again? This got collided. This got collided, right? Every time it's colliding, it is giving you the message, right? Let's reload this once and let's see if we are able to not make it collide. Can you see this? Now it's just not colliding. Okay, it got collided in quite a lot of time, but now this is not colliding, right? The numbers is not increasing. And I think I'm good at Dino game and I'm not making it collide now, right? Now this got collided, something like that, right? So we are able to judge that in what condition if this collision is happening, and we are also able to move this on our own terms. It's not like the dinosaur is automatically jumping. We have made sure that the dinosaur is only jumping when we want it to jump, and we've also made sure that we are also detecting the collision, right? And with that, we are at the end of the session, right? Only thing we need to do is we need to give user errors or give user a notification saying that, dude, you have just collided, right? The game is over, right? How can we do it? It's very simple. I mean, if that got clear, right? Definitely, right? You will get the, you'll get that particular thing, the whole code and the recording with you. Will that Dino top ever be greater than 150? Obviously, man, see, I told you what? I told you that, 150, see, it's that going to be greater than 150 तो नहीं होगा, but at least equals to 150 हो जाएगा, right? The top around that, right? Cool. So what we can do is, instead of logging it, right, because logging is not solving the problem, we can say alert. And this is again a JavaScript method, right, which can help you to give that error message on, or that particular, what do you say, not error message, but a pop out or a, a display pop out on your screen that we can say, collision, please, maybe just collision, and we can add a sad emoji here, right, something like that. Dino collided, something like that, right? We can add some, your dino collided, something like that. I'm not sure if the spelling is correct or not, but yeah. And if we make sure, and if we do it this way, and if we reload the page, yeah, just a minute, see, it collided, that's why it's giving me an error. If I play it very carefully and very cautiously, you can see it's working, right? And we did it. We did make our whole Dino game, and that is working fine, right? And game over is there, right? So that is about how you can make the whole Dino game. And as I promised, it's under 50 line or not. It's even below 30 line, and I can do more line cutting, right? I can remove these comments. I can do more other things, right? Let's do it. Let's make it more shorter, right? Let's say that in how many small lines we have done it. Oops, sorry. Right, I could keep a video saying a clickbait, create a Dino game under 20-30 lines or something like that. Yeah, I think we could have created it under 20 lines, something like this. Can you see, under 20 line we created our whole damn dinosaur game, and it's fully functional, right? Any quick questions till this point? Because I think we are done, right? We have I've explained each and every step, and I've explained how this can be done. Now is the part where it's a bonus section where we are going to actually host it, right? How do we host it? It's very, very simple, very straightforward. We'll be using Netlify to do that. And before doing that, I'll just quickly, share this code. I'll just quickly upload this code on my, on my GitHub, right? Commit, you know, complete Dino game, and I can push it so that that could get uploaded on my GitHub, right? So guys and girls, this is the area, right, wherein you can see the updated code now. Yes, you can see the code is just updated now, and this is the new updated URL, right? You can take a reference from the code from this particular URL, right? That's about it, right? I hope that whole discussion about development must be clear to everyone. Now let's sir, how to host our, yeah, this is what I'm just about to tell, and this is just a like 1 to 2 minute of task, right? First thing that we will be utilizing is an Netlify, right? This is a service, it's a hosting service provider, and hosting here is completely free, right? You can host all of your static file for free without even paying a single penny, right? You are not even around, you'll not even be asked about your credit card details or anything. It's totally free. Go over there and create your free account, right? And yeah, you have to like give in your email ID and all of those like basic details, right? Name, email ID and something, and you will have your account, right? I already have this account created, so I'll not register. I'll just log in, and yeah, this is my account, right? And I have been hosting like quite a lot of sites over here, and this is, you can see the last site which I showed you, right? I've even hosted it beforehand only. So this is the site, and how you are going to host it is that you just click on this button, you click on this deploy manually, and this is the area where you can drag and drop your site, right? I'll just open up my folder. This was my folder, right? Dino game. So I'll just open it side by side, and I'm going to just drag and drop over here, and that's it. Within no time, you'll have your website, your whole game deployed on a cloud without even paying single penny, without even bothering about anything else. And this, my friend, is hosted, right? This is the by default link that you'll get, right? It's obviously going to be something creepy. It's going to be something, very strange. How can you make sure that you can change it? It's that you click on this domain setting, click on this options, edit site name, and then whatever name, suits best to you, you can take that. I'll either write it as Cuvette Dino game, something, or Cuvette Dino, right? If I click on this, hitting save, and if the domain is available, obviously, it it matters if the domain is that you're choosing is common or uncommon, right? So you can see the domain was available, and I got that domain, and I've hosted it. Right, so that's about it. And one more thing is that the .netlify.app is obviously going to be a part of that, because this is a free hosting site, so that's something of a trade off that you have to do. Yes, Pramod, we can host any website, and more specifically static, we are hosting it. If you are planning to host your dynamic site, then you have to purchase some, what do you say, more functionality of Netlify, which is obviously paid. Yeah. Yes, we can obviously host this on GitHub also, but hosting it on GitHub is like quite a task. So that's why we didn't do it in the session. I know like quite a lot of people might not have their GitHub account and all. So that's why we have that, right? So that is about it. I hope you have enjoyed it. You have understood each and every single word, every single line of that we have written. And at the bonus part, we have even hosted it, right? So yeah, any quick questions, quickly ask, right, about tech, and then I think we can wrap. That's really good.
Okay. Thanks, guys, and thanks everyone for coming for the session. I think you may have learned something, and just wanted to share that this take coding just for as a fun kind of thing, and do not take it as a theory kind of thing. Kind of academics we used to do in school or college, because it has always been fun for me as well, to do code, work on the website and all those things. So just like, try to build more and more application. I've seen people stuck in data structure algorithm, and what I find is that, for me, those algorithms are somewhat boring for me, because, you do not see any real, applications being done there. I've always been, a great fan of building applications using the codes. So try to build as many as, applications, build softwares, try to solve problem around you. And yep, great. I think we will have more such sessions coming up in January, and in the dashboard as well. When you log into the Cuvette, you will find all other recordings placed there in January. There are some micro contents also which are coming on the platform, so you can keep on learning. We will also do a survey where you can tell us that what kind of contents you are looking for, what kind of learning you are looking for, and then we can provide those learning on the dashboard itself. Thanks a lot, guys, for joining. I just wanted to inform one more thing, that we run our own guaranteed internship program where we do a training of 4 months, and after that, we help you guys to get an internship in our partner companies from our platform. So it's an ecosystem kind of thing. You come and be a part of Cuvette ecosystem, and it's all sorted. Means your internship, job, everything is taken care with us. I can send you. I'm just dropping the link. If you guys want to check the page of the guaranteed internship program. Next batch is starting on 14th of January. I can see some of the students of current batches are also joining the session. So it's good that you guys are also joining the session and learning to build applications. And great. So thank you guys. Thank you for coming. And the recordings will be shared over mail, so do not worry about it. I'm ending this session, and great. Good night.